Welcome back. This is your daily dose of reality check. Whether you're stuck in traffic, hitting the gym, or just winding down, I'm here to spill the hottest tea from your favorite Bravo shows. From the wildest reunions to the quietest social media unfollows, we cover it all. So buckle up literally, because the drama starts right now.
Today, we're really going to assess the staggering true cost of maintaining a reality television persona.
We really are. We've collected details on everything from, crippling debt and serious felony charges to these profound identity crises and authenticity audits.
And we're going to unpack how this constant need for drama in front of the camera leads to, some truly devastating financial and personal consequences when those cameras finally turn off.
So we're starting this deep dive right in the legal trenches. Two major stories have emerged that just utterly shatter the illusion of untouchable celebrity wealth.
Right.
We're looking at the dramatic and, highly consequential financial and fraud case surrounding Wendy and Eddie Osefo from the Real Housewives of Potomac.
This situation is escalating so quickly, and the potential implications are just enormous.
So what's the latest?
Well, the Osefos recently funded a court hearing in Carroll County, Maryland, and the whole focus was this legal battle to block subpoenas.
Subpoenas for what exactly?
For 8 years' worth of their personal and business financial documentation.
8 years.
8 years. It's an extremely wide net the prosecution is casting here.
That's not a casual request. 8 years suggests the prosecution, which is being led by Melissa Hawkinsmith, is looking for a pattern, right? Not just one isolated incident.
Exactly. They are arguing that these records are absolutely necessary for the ongoing fraud case and that there is a public interest in obtaining them.
And there was a pretty shocking moment from that hearing, wasn't there? Something that really established the prosecution's theory of the case.
Oh, yes. The prosecutor's direct allegation that the Osefos have very little money. That one phrase provides the essential component they were looking for. Motive. The prosecution is essentially claiming desperation is what fueled this alleged fraud.
And when you look at the sheer volume of charges, you really understand how serious this is.
It's staggering.
The Osefos were indicted on a total of 16 counts. That includes 7 counts of insurance fraud, 8 counts of conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, and 1 count of making a false statement to police.
And these charges all stem from an incident back in April of 2024 involving an alleged staged robbery. The claims they filed totaled $450,000.
$450,000. That's a massive insurance claim. That immediately puts us into felony territory.
It does. And the specific allegations about the mechanics of the fraud are what truly bring the story into sharp relief. It reveals a level of alleged premeditation that's, it's pretty detailed.
So the prosecution is claiming they reported items stolen that had already been returned to stores for refunds.
Yes.
Think about that for a minute. That's not just staging a robbery. That's an elaborate scheme where you're trying to monetize items twice.
Right. First through the refund you get from the store.
And then again through the insurance payout for a stolen item that you don't even own anymore. That detail feels really critical to proving criminal intent.
It's huge, and the financial scrutiny just deepens when you look at the allegations surrounding all the credit and debit cards.
Right, because the story around the cards has been evolving.
It has. Initially, back in November, prosecutors alleged the Osefos had about 40 credit and debit cards. Some were in company names, and maybe most concerningly, they were using fake names.
Like Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy.
Exactly, to specifically mask their identity in financial dealings.
But the updated claim, just weeks later, is where the story truly explodes.
It does. The prosecution is now claiming they actually located 67 cards.
67.
All found in 4 luxury wallets. And this includes 1 Chanel wallet that had itself previously been reported as stolen.
Wow. So the escalation of the numbers, from 40 to 67, and using a previously reported stolen Chanel wallet to hold all these cards, that paints a picture that is very difficult for the defense to just easily dismiss.
The defense, however, is not yielding. Their lawyers are strongly countering that the prosecution's real motivation here is to embarrass the Osefos.
And to improperly develop a motive.
Right. They're arguing that these highly confidential documents are completely irrelevant to the actual criminal charges, and this is purely an intimidation tactic.
So how did they try to explain away the specifics? The 67 cards, the aliases, those are hard facts to argue with.
Well, the defense attorney claimed that the 67 cards were largely expired or belonged to joint accounts. So, trying to minimize the appearance of any unusual financial complexity.
Okay, what about the names? Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy.
For the aliases, the defense claimed these were only used for ordering packages, basically citing privacy or convenience and not for masking their identity in banking records.
So they called the state's argument that the aliases were for banking purposes nonsensical.
Precisely. They are arguing that using a fake name for a package delivery is an, quote, innocent and innocuous act, completely disconnected from any kind of fraud.
And they must have pushed back hard on the no-money motive theory.
Oh, they did. They adamantly refuted it by stating there was no evidence that the Osifos are in financial distress. This is really a battle over perception, Is this a successful, maybe slightly idiosyncratic family, or is this a couple that is financially crippled and resorting to elaborate crime?
And the judge didn't rule immediately on blocking the subpoenas, right?
No. Judge Richard R. Titus stated he was inclined to agree with the state's need for these records, but he promised to issue a final decision later that day.
So regardless of that specific ruling, the simple fact that a Dubrow personality is facing this level of financial and criminal scrutiny is a massive ongoing story.
And it connects thematically, I think. This idea of, desperation for money leading to the complete unraveling of a public life. It leads us right into our next story.
Right. The bitter and incredibly complicated financial and legal fallout involving Denise Richards and her estranged husband, Aaron Vipers, from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
This situation is just textbook legal entanglement. 6 months after the initial divorce filing, Aaron files court documents requesting spousal support from Denise.
And the financial documents he submitted reveal a level of debt that is, it's staggering. He confirmed a total debt figure of $850,000.
That figure alone should cause anyone to just pause. But what makes this situation truly astonishing is the breakdown of his reported monthly expenses. It paints a picture of a man living an utterly unsustainable life while just drowning in obligations.
So tell us about those obligations. What's the breakdown?
Okay, so his documented monthly expenses include $15,000 just for rent.
$15,000 a month.
For rent. Then $4,800 for groceries and household supplies, and $5,500 for utilities. But the number that truly defines his crisis is the $61,000 he is required to pay monthly toward his debt.
$61,000 a month.
A month. That payment alone is more than many people earn in an entire year. So it raises these serious questions about the financial reality he's been living in. Where is that income coming from?
And the debt itself, the $850,000. It's not just like maxed out credit cards. This debt is structural. It involves multiple parties.
Precisely. The sources cite $180,000 owed to his current landlord for back rent and repairs, plus another $120,000 in back rent owed on a former office space.
So that's $300,000 in just housing and business occupancy debt alone.
Exactly. He also owes $230,000 to a man named Tom McCormack, $250,000 to a company called High Velocity Admin, and $70,000 split between two different law firms. This shows debts accumulated across business, housing, and ongoing legal fees.
And let's not forget the context of his filing. When he initially filed for divorce, Aaron alleged Denise was making $250,000 per month.
Right. Largely attributed to her OnlyFans income, appearances, and TV roles.
So he appears to be trying to leverage her alleged success to bail himself out of this astronomical debt he's created.
And it seems like this financial desperation coincided with the deepening personal and criminal legal trouble.
This is where it gets really dark. Denise had previously requested a restraining order against him, right?
Or had detailing claims of repeated physical abuse during their relationship, including receiving multiple black eyes. He denied these claims at the time.
But the personal battle escalated dramatically into the criminal sphere. Amid a long hearing about the alleged abuse, Aaron Vipers was actually arrested.
And he was subsequently charged with 4 felony counts. Specifically, 2 counts of injuring a spouse and 2 felony counts of dissuading a witness by force or threat.
These charges are incredibly serious. If he's convicted, he is facing the possibility of years in state prison.
It's just the severity of moving from a messy reality TV divorce into facing multiple felonies just underscores the absolute extremity of the legal jeopardy he is now in.
And on top of all of that, the legal fallout isn't just criminal. While he's fighting these felony charges, he's also simultaneously facing 2 civil lawsuits over that $850,000 debt.
And this brings us back to that critical lesson we see so often in reality TV divorces: financial entanglement.
The entanglement is so stark here. One of those civil lawsuits is a joint case filed against both Aaron and Denise by their former landlord.
Right, for unpaid rent on the Calabasas mansion they previously shared. Denise moved out in 2023.
But even though she left, her name is still legally tied to that liability.
It's a painful reminder for anyone listening that shared assets, or in this case, shared liabilities, they never truly disappear until they are formally resolved and discharged.
The confluence of, $850,000 in debt, allegations of spousal abuse, and 4 serious felony charges. It is perhaps the most extreme example of reality fallout we have seen recently.
And that terrifying level of financial and legal risk, it brings us to a shift in focus. We're moving from the courtroom to the profound, sometimes tearful, search for self.
Right. The emotional and personal costs of navigating divorce and identity on this massive public stage. We're starting with Kyle Richards in Beverly Hills and her highly complicated 3 years separated status.
Kyle's situation is a perfect representation of a midlife identity shift played out publicly. She is clearly searching for something permanent. She says she's looking for a life partner that she still hopes to marry again.
But she also acknowledges the reality that she is fundamentally on her own again, after decades in one relationship structure.
And this whole exploration was highlighted during a very specific event, a speed dating event hosted by Bozoma St. John.
It was in that setting, after Bozoma really pushed her on the complexity of her current single status, that Kyle made that now infamous revelation about the gender of her future partner.
Yes. When she was asked about her ideal soul connection, Kyle stated, "I could go Brad, I could go Angelina."
And she immediately kind of softened it by saying she was half joking.
She did, but she emphasized the core message. She has learned a tremendous amount about herself, and gender simply doesn't matter in her search for a genuine soul connection.
And crucially, she confirmed to the group that she has found love since the separation. This indicates it's not just a theoretical exploration, but an active change in her life.
And that quote, of course, immediately became analytic fodder elsewhere, especially on the Dubrow's podcast. Terry Dubrow just jumped in to declare that the Brad Angelina comment unequivocally means Kyle is bi.
And Terry didn't stop there. He then generalized about attraction, stating his opinion that women can be bi, guys can't be bi, guys are only gay or not.
Which is a fascinating, if arguably, archaic generalization about human sexuality. It contrasts so heavily with the fluid self-discovery Kyle seems to be experiencing.
And Heather Dubrow, playing the role of social observer, she noted that this trend is visible across their social circles.
Right. Observing that many women are currently divorcing men and then subsequently forming new romantic relationships with other women, it really shows how that reality star environment reflects broader societal changes.
And we also got a really poignant glimpse into the emotional toll this public, decades-long separation is taking.
Yes, when Kyle was shopping for wedding flowers with her daughter Alexia, it was a moment of profound vulnerability where that public persona completely broke down.
She just shed tears while discussing the flowers, expressing this intense desire for Alexia and her fiancé Jake to never hurt each other and to have a long, successful marriage.
That moment just highlights the immense pressure and the emotional wreckage that Kyle's trying to navigate. Her hope for her daughter's future is just so directly contrasted with the pain of her own past and her current reality.
And that emotional struggle with the post-marriage reality, especially when it comes to financial power, leads us directly to the vulnerability of Dorit Kemsley.
Yes, and her ongoing financial exposure following her separation from PK.
Dorit shared a tremendous amount of detail with Bozoma and Amanda, a financial coach, about the harsh truths of her divorce.
And the fundamental issue that has created this crisis is the lack of a prenup. She confirmed that when she and PK married, they did not have one, and he was, in her words, broke following the 2008 financial crisis.
Which created a huge structural problem. Throughout the marriage, PK handled virtually all the finances.
Right, leaving Dorit largely uninvolved and, financially illiterate regarding the specifics of their business dealings and accounts.
So now that they are separated, PK is reportedly no longer maintaining payments on certain things, and their shared financial structure is just collapsing.
The vulnerability is extreme because Dorit stated PK agreed to maintain the finances for only 1 month after the separation.
1 month. That's nowhere near enough time to untangle decades of joint financial life.
Not at all. And the critical and frankly terrifying detail is that Dorit's name is on everything.
This means if PK stops making payments, she doesn't just suffer the reputational consequence.
No, she suffers the direct legal and financial consequence. She is the one who is liable. She articulated that the unknowns are terrifying, especially given PK's tendency to become complex, particularly when he drinks, which just adds this element of unpredictability to their financial negotiations.
The advice she got from the financial coach, Amanda, was so crucial and really serves as a major takeaway for anyone listening.
Absolutely. Amanda stressed the absolute importance of Durate learning exactly where the money is, demanding transparency, and fundamentally figuring out who she wants to be financially, independent of what PK does.
And Bozomo reinforced this, emphasizing that financial knowledge is essential for every woman, particularly given the strong possibility that things between Dorit and PK will continue to escalate and get uglier.
Durate's story is just a stark warning about the dangers of outsourced financial control, especially in these high-asset, high-liability reality TV marriages.
Switching gears to another long-term Hollywood relationship that is actively prioritizing maintenance and communication, Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin.
Lisa recently offered some insight into the longevity of their partnership, admitting that she and Harry are now actively attending therapy.
Which was a very candid admission.
It was. Lisa explained that in long-term relationships, it's almost inevitable that people begin to devalue their partner or find that they, bug me.
So she said they engage in therapy specifically when they feel they are growing in separate directions.
Exactly. Treating therapy as a proactive mechanism to come back together and intentionally prevent minor rifts from becoming major breaks. It's a remarkable admission of sustained effort, contrasting so sharply with the reactive chaos we see in so many other reality couples.
She also provided an update on the dynamic between her two daughters, Amelia and Delilah Hamlin.
She did. Lisa confirmed that the sisters did experience a period of significant conflict. She termed it a couple years that were very uncomfortable for the whole family.
But the good news is that they appear to have repaired that relationship.
Yes. Lisa noted they are now very close again and are super supportive of each other, which is essential given that they both work as high-profile models in a fiercely competitive industry. That support system they've rebuilt is just vital to navigating that career landscape.
So we've examined the legal costs, the emotional costs of the reality TV machine. Now we dive into the professional cost.
Specifically, the intense pressure to be authentic and the strategic maneuvering required to stay on these shows.
We are starting in Potomac, where veteran cast member Ashley Darby is performing an authenticity audit on the new ladies.
Ashley aired her grievances with newcomers Stacey Rush and Angel Massey on the Housewives Nightcap podcast, providing a fascinating meta-commentary on the production itself.
What were her issues with Stacey?
Regarding Stacey, Ashley mentioned she met her eons ago and Stacey was a traffic reporter in D.C. and initially liked her. But the Stacey that arrived on The Real Housewives of Potomac is, in Ashley's opinion, just not quite the same.
How so?
Ashley described Stacey as very politician-like, meaning she has an ability to skirt a question and avoids giving direct, dramatic answers.
So she's not playing the game correctly, in Ashley's view.
Essentially. Ashley admits she lacks concrete proof that Stacey is being dishonest, but her critique is centered on the failure to deliver the full range of human experience required by the show.
She compared Stacey's approach to her own willingness to share the good, bad, and the ugly.
Right, concluding that Stacey is only giving the show an A to C instead of the full alphabet. And that's a reality television producer's worst nightmare, a cast member protecting her image too fiercely.
And the criticism extends to Angel Massey, who has faced accusations of renting property in the DMV area specifically to appear on the show, rather than genuinely living there.
And Ashley addressed this head-on. She noted the lack of transparency was frustrating. Ashley felt that if Angel had indeed relocated or was renting just for the show, transparency would have been appreciated upfront.
She criticized Angel for acting like this is where you guys are setting up homes.
Right, arguing that Angel presented a false sense of rootedness in the community. Ashley noted that the details surrounding Angel's true living situation were so murky, especially since later events seemed to confirm the presented living arrangement lacked reality.
And before leaving Potomac, Ashley also demonstrated a rare moment of reflection about her own past on-camera behavior.
She did. She addressed the controversy from BravoCon where she joked about Wendy Baddour's legal situation just as the story was breaking.
She acknowledged that, in retrospect, joking about it was probably a little too sensitive at the time, and that she went a little hard on it.
But the key part of her commentary was directed at the children. She stated her apology at BravoCon was specifically aimed toward Wendy's children, recognizing they are old enough now to have been genuinely offended by her public mockery of their family's legal crisis.
It's a moment where you see them acknowledge the real people caught in the crossfire of this reality drama.
So moving west, we hit the massive casting rumor mill surrounding the Real Housewives of Orange County.
The rumors are intensely circulating that Heather Dubrow may have quit RHOC ahead of season 20, which is scheduled to begin filming in February.
Heather's has 2 significant runs on the show, totaling 9 seasons, and social media was just ablaze with reports suggesting she turned in her resignation.
And when a veteran cast member of her stature leaves, the immediate question is why, and, where will they go next?
The most immediate and interesting speculation is the crossover idea, that Heather belongs on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
And the rationale for that crossover is purely financial and status-driven.
Absolutely. Sources argued she is in the same elevated tax bracket as the women of the Beverly Hills franchise. It suggests her formality and extreme wealth fit better with their established dynamic than the current Orange County group.
The rumors also brought up a long-standing claim about her first departure after season 11 back in 2016.
Right. The new speculation suggests she wasn't just tired then, but was actually fired after issuing an ultimatum to production. Either keep her or keep Kelly Dodd.
And the resurfaced claims suggest that Bravo eventually acquiesced, firing Kelly later to allow Heather to return in 2021.
So whether or not she quit or was let go this time, the fan reaction is just fascinatingly polarized.
It truly is. Some fans are desperately pleading with her to stay, appreciating her highbrow drama and aspirational lifestyle.
Yet a large segment is labeling her boring and criticizing her judgments, saying her departure is good news. It shows that constant tension between aspirational wealth and relatable drama that defines a housewife's career.
And speaking of strategic casting, we have the huge announcements surrounding The Real Housewives: Ultimate Road Trip.
Andy Cohen confirmed this at BravoCon 2025. This series is slated for a 2026 premiere and is intended to be a major celebration of 20 years of the Housewives brand.
And the most significant signal of, reconciliation and shifting power dynamics is the news that NeNe Leakes is reportedly in talks to appear.
This follows renewed public contact between NeNe and Andy Cohen and her recent return to hosting duties, which suggests the long-standing legal and personal issues she had with NBC Universal might finally be resolved.
Her return would be monumental, but we also have some solid confirmations on who is officially hitting the road.
We do. Vicki Gunvalson confirmed her participation, specifying she will be traveling from January 18th through the end of January, a timeline that fits perfectly before RHOC Season 20 filming ramps up.
And sources are pretty strong on the confirmed core cast, claiming 4 OGs are signed on.
Yes. Vicki, Kyle Richards, Giselle Bryant, and Teresa Giudice. This is a powerful cross-country grouping of the biggest names in the franchise's history.
And other major figures have been approached, including Kim Zolciak, Karen Huger, Meredith Marks, and Luanda Lesseps.
The structure of the trip is also being refined. While the main group is OGs only, other long-running cast members, the VETs will be integrated in limited capacities.
The specific example given is Monique Samuels, who is reportedly signing on for a limited appearance.
Right, expected to join the main cast for a party at an iconic Housewives landmark. This is a very smart move by production. It leverages the star power of figures who might not fit the full trip structure, gives a nostalgic nod to longtime viewers, and ensures that the 20-year celebration feels comprehensive.
Let's pivot to the Deep South now, and the relationship post-mortems happening in Charleston, where Craig Conover is reflecting on his breakup with Paige DeSorbo.
Craig has been very candid about the split. He said the main lesson he took away was learning to stay open to new experiences.
He emphasized that the 3 years with Paige were great.
He did, but significantly he confirmed that he thought Paige was the one, putting her above his previous long-term girlfriend, Naomi Olindo.
He seems to be embracing the single life with a newfound maturity. He described himself as a single 37-year-old business guy who enjoys dating because he genuinely likes sharing his life with someone.
And a tangible marker of this personal growth is the solo trip he is planning for January, a first for him, indicating a true step toward independence.
He also recognized the collateral damage the split on his friendships. He admitted missing his friendship with Ciara Miller,
acknowledging they were closer than the audience realized, which shows how romantic relationships often dictate the surrounding social ecosystem.
And we have updates on the Charleston love triangle that never dies. Naomi Olindo's new boyfriend, Billy Hare, who is the ex-husband of Brooks Nader, seems to be getting the Craig Conover stamp of approval.
Yes, Craig noted that he has heard more good things about Billy Hare than anyone else Naomi has dated.
And in a humorous connection to his own rumored past, he confirmed he is still in touch with Kristen Cavallari.
Joking that they are now friends with no benefits and are planning a future business collaboration, that's a smooth way to transition a fleeting romance into a stable, non-sexual partnership.
Now to the feuds, which always provide the core conflict of Southern charm. Craig expressed a major regret regarding his fight with Austin Kroll.
He specifically regretted threatening Austin with information that Shep Rose had previously shared about Austin cheating.
Craig confessed that he resorted to that low blow only because he and Austin had already been fighting intensely that day, and he just reached his absolute limit.
And although he claimed Austin denied the cheating rumor and he decided to side with Austin, he still regretted threatening to expose the sensitive information. It was a momentary lapse where the line between conflict and, character assassination was crossed.
Interestingly, Craig believes Austin's recent breakup from Audrey Pratt was a positive change for him personally.
Right. Craig stated that Austin is lighter now that he is single and gets to be himself again, predicting that as soon as that breakup occurred, he and Austin would naturally start getting along again.
It's a common reality TV dynamic. Shared singledom often heals broken male friendships.
It does. And finally, he addressed the tension with Vanita Aspen. Craig found Vanita's on-camera presence confusing because she is always nice to him in person.
He clarified that the specific reason he publicly stated he wouldn't be friends with her was after she accused him of enjoying his breakup for attention.
But despite making that very definitive statement about ending their friendship, Craig confirmed that he continues to invite Vanita to every single party he throws. This highlights the unique reality of a cast member's social life. They have to continue to exist in the same ecosystem, regardless of the on-camera drama.
The drama involving newcomers in Charleston continued, even spilling into BravoCon, according to Dorinda Medley.
Yes, Dorinda, while interviewing Craig Conover, openly criticized newcomer Sally Carson for not being friendly at the massive fan event.
Dorinda was taken aback because she prides herself on making an effort to be friendly to everyone she encounters.
She suggested that Sally was very preoccupied with her look and Instagram and was seen wearing sunglasses on at 7 or 0 at night.
And Craig jumped in to validate this, confirming that the presence of the sunglasses bothered a lot of housewives.
It's a superficial critique, but it speaks to the social expectation of being approachable and ready to perform for fans and colleagues at these large events.
However, the gossip surrounding Sally took a much more toxic and accusatory turn outside of the convention.
Former castmate Taylor Ann Green posted a public social media comment where she compared herself to Sally, but it quickly devolved into a series of heavy accusations.
Taylor alleged that Sally manipulated a doctor into cheating on his wife and was dating someone throughout the entire filming of the past season.
All while still aggressively trying to hook up with both Craig and Austin. These claims of calculated inauthenticity, relationship manipulation, and outright deception are serious and throw Sally's entire presence on the show into question.
On a more restorative note regarding cast drama, we have Vanita Aspen and Molly O'Connell reaching a positive resolution after a very sensitive piece of gossip was shared.
Vanita publicly apologized on Instagram for making a careless comment to Sally Carson about Molly O'Connell's vaginal rejuvenation surgery, which subsequently became cast gossip.
Vanita acknowledged that sharing that private information was not my place to share.
She noted that she had apologized privately multiple times, and the public statement emphasized that her intention, which she claimed was simply not wanting to draw more attention to the surgery, did not erase the impact of the embarrassment she caused.
That distinction between intent and impact is a mature recognition often missing in reality discourse.
It is, and Molly confirmed they are in a good place, noting that Vanita continues to show meaningful remorse, even sending her a beautiful bouquet of flowers. This is a rare example of a genuine apology and resolution on a show where drama is the currency.
Finally, we jump up north for a crossover critique that provides a powerful analysis of the pathologies of reality TV marriages.
Yes, Katie Maloney from Vanderpump Rules weighed in heavily on the marital conflict between Kyle Cook and Amanda Batula featured in the Summer House Season 10 trailer.
And Katie did not hold back.
Yeah.
She reacted strongly to the conflict stemming from Kyle's late nights and his career choices, slamming his behavior as so unacceptable.
This was particularly focused on a late night out at a fan's house, which she saw as a profound breach of marital trust.
What made the situation even worse, according to Katie, was Kyle's explanation that he was simply DJing an event.
Right. Katie argued that if his job was to DJ, he should have gone straight home afterward, stressing that forcing a partner to endure that kind of emotional strain, like staying up until 4 a.m. to check on their whereabouts, is unforgivable.
She drew a clear line between what she was seeing and her own past.
She did. Katie felt she was watching a clip from my past, drawing direct parallels to her ex-husband, Tom Schwartz, and her own habit of continually letting bad behavior slide while taking on the emotional burden of the relationship.
The sharpest analysis came when Katie took aim at Kyle's justification for being out late. She accused Kyle of removing accountability and putting all this on Amanda by stating that Amanda chose not to attend the event with him,
And she called that specific behavior giving Tom Sandoval.
referencing Sandoval's pattern of deflecting blame and essentially blaming Ariana Maddox for not being involved enough in his life to follow his movements.
And that comparison connecting Kyle's marital behavior to the worst pathologies of the Vanderpump Rules men is incredibly damning.
Katie concluded that Amanda deserves so much better.
She stressed that while viewers don't see the entire scope of the relationship, the abusive pattern of deflection and lack of accountability that is being shown shouldn't be dismissed because there's good moments.
Trying to rationalize and make excuses for this type of sustained neglect and poor behavior, she argues, is ultimately humiliating and damaging to the partner.
We have covered extraordinary ground today, and the through line is just impossible to ignore.
The reality check for these stars is staggeringly expensive, measured in legal fines, debt, and deep personal trauma.
We saw the truly shocking depths of financial and legal crises facing couples whose brands were built on success. From the Osefos facing 16 felony counts related to an alleged staged robbery and hundreds of thousands in claims,
To the absolute financial desperation of Aaron Pfeiffer's drowning in $850,000 of debt and now facing 4 serious felony charges of spousal injury and witness dissuasion.
And simultaneously, we witnessed the profound emotional cost of televised marriage failure.
There is the very public, often tearful, quest for a new identity post-marriage, whether it's Kyle Richards exploring her sexuality and the meaning of a soul connection, or Dorit Kemsley frantically trying to gain basic financial literacy after handing over decades of control to PK.
Right, the search for self is being conducted on the world stage.
And finally, the ongoing friction between what is packaged as authentic and what is pure strategy for the cameras. Ashley Darby's critique of her new RHOP castmates and the casting rumors suggesting Heather Dubrow belongs in a higher tax bracket franchise show that even a star's placement and perceived honesty is constantly under threat of audit.
It really makes you wonder, when the lines between business, friendship, and family are completely dissolved, as they are in reality television, what protection does a person truly have when they eventually step away or when the cameras stop rolling?
The initial fame might be intoxicating, but ultimately does transparency demand too high a price?
The provocative thought for you to mull over until our next deep dives, where we continue to analyze the true cost of living life under the reality TV microscope.